Joining us right now to discuss the college campus wars, defense tech, his recent trip to India, and so much more. Joe Lonsdale is here, 8VC founding partner, of course, co-founder of Palantir, and it's great to see you this morning. I want to start with the very controversial issue of what's happening on campus. We saw what happened with Jerry Seinfeld's commencement speech, dozens of folks protesting that. But I think you're a unique person to talk to about this because you've also started your own school or university. Or I should say college. I don't know what the distinction is between a college and university. In Austin, and what you are seeing right now.
You know, Andrew, it's really sad, but it's really showing the rot at a lot of these places. Like I didn't agree, 10 or so years ago when they decided that anyone who questions the self-understood identity of somebody or even refuses to affirm it is in big trouble. But that's the rule at these places, as Roland Fryer just wrote about in the Journal as a Harvard professor. And it's very clear now that these people are questioning this, and it turns out the rules are some identities are okay to question, others are not, and it's anti-Semitic. But it also really shows how messed up this. I think it's a religion these people are following. It's like some kind of Calvinist predestination where some things you're destined to be a good person, and some things you're a bad person and an oppressor. It's this weird neo-racist thing, and it's terrible.
So how do you think it happened, and how do you think you undo it?
I think that there is something that's been spreading in our society for the last 10 years, and it's actually really interesting. You can quantify the fact that women on average are more religious than men on average. It's a thing for 400 years we've known, except that's not true anymore amongst women over the last 8 years in these last younger generations. And I think the reason is their new religion doesn't identify as religion. I think it's a very terrible, weird, cultist religion where there's no forgiveness and where they have all these mix of values and they see the world through these frameworks that are unhealthy. We need to speak openly about the fact that this is a broken thing. It's not right. We need to stop teaching in our schools. I'm here in New York right now with you guys. People going to Dalton, the board of Dalton, they're teaching first graders weird sex ed stuff. It's like this is a weird religion they're spreading in the blue cities. We've got to stop it.
Joe, it's not a coincidence that I don't know what numbers are like for whether you think America's a good place or whether you're proud to be here, whether you think capitalism is, but there are bad ratings on all that. So it's been, like you said, it's been a rot of 10 years.
It's been going down for 10 years, and it's not just about anti-Semitism, right?
That's obviously,
what I mean. Obviously, I'm Jewish and I care about anti-Semitism, but I'm American and I care more about America itself. And if you see the problem with corrupt NGOs doing weird things at the border and breaking our cities, you see all the stuff that's broken. It's all tied back to this weird anti-meritocratic incompetence, and it's because people are afraid to speak out against it. If you speak out against it, you do it right now, you are controversial. I am now the controversial Joe Lonsdale for calling this out, but we all need to call it out because it's broken.
Well, let me ask you a separate question.
Can I just ask, what is it? Is it?
It's social justice fundamentalism. It's maybe wokeness. There's all sorts of words for it. It's a Marxist adjacent new religion. It's seeing the world through oppressor-oppressed frameworks. But it's this new way of approaching the world that is frankly broken and frankly comes from a bad set of philosophies that have been imposed on us.
Let me ask you a separate question. So many of the protests that we're seeing around the country have to do with the approach that Israel has taken, if you will, in Gaza. And the question is, if you believe that there is a way to think about this is there any distinction, maybe is the better way to say it, between having a protest about the approach that Israel is taking, meaning from a policy perspective, versus the question of whether there is ultimately anti-Semitism underneath that feeling?
For sure. So I think good people can argue and disagree about Israeli policy, and that's a very fair thing. The problem with these protests is a few things. First of all, you get a lot of anti-U.S. sentiment. You get a lot of pro-violent sentiment. And second of all, it goes back to the core of this broken religion, is you're not allowed to discuss and debate things. There's no such thing as getting together with humility and having a conversation and saying, I agree with this, I disagree with this, we're having a reasonable come together. No, you are on the oppressor side, you are evil, and there's no questions asked. And that's the framework right now.
Let me ask you a separate question, because you've invested in a lot of defense companies. And we showed some tape from an interview I did with General Milley last week. One of the things that he talked about, and also Eric Schmidt talked about, was the idea that the future of war is actually going to be a lot more lethal than it has been in the past, in large part because it's going to happen in very dense cities. And Gaza may be a dress rehearsal for what that looks like, and that the both morality of that, but more importantly, the politics of that are going to become more and more complicated, especially since everyone has an iPhone and is going to be able to take video of this. And so the ability to, quote unquote, either defend yourself or, some people think that the only good defense is offense. Well, but the politics of offense may become more complicated.
You know, that's totally true, Andrew. You saw the UN revise down by half their guesses about how many civilians died. It's still too many civilians. I think it's less civilians than almost any other armed conflict in an urban area. So I think they are doing a great job. But guess what? It's still too many civilians, and it's still horrible. And it is a very, very tough thing. War is a terrible thing. And you know, do
you think that technology, and this, by the way, we debated this last week. We were in Washington. Do you think technology is actually going to be able to change that part of it? Because it was I will say, the group was very mixed on that. It wasn't clear that somehow AI was going to change that.
I'd love it if just robots could fight each other and determine the outcome. We are working on some amazing defense technologies. You've seen Epirus's new videos where they could turn off the swarms of drones from far away with electronic shields, right? There's things like this right now we're doing that hopefully can protect people. But the best defense still is offense, and war is still going to be terrible. In a social media age, war is going to be even tougher. That's true.
You just got back from India, and there are a lot of tech folks that have been making, if I dare I say, a pilgrimage to India, I would say, in the past year or two, that seem to be very, very bullish on India. Folks have been bullish before. These pilgrimages have happened before over the last decade, and for whatever reason, it has not moved the needle the way I think the expectations were. Is this time different?
So, I mean, India has been an important player in tech for a long time, right? There's millions of programmers there from these top IT services companies that are a big part of what we're doing. What's changed for me in the last kind of 5 or 6 years is that we used to send our very well-defined, easier problems to India. Now we're sending our hard problems to India. So I have teams of hundreds of people, multiple companies, who are some of our most talented people. And what you're seeing, Andrew, if you have people solving our hardest problems here in the U.S., they're also going to be able to solve hard problems in their own companies. We're starting to write checks there. It's a very dynamic ecosystem. I'm very bullish on India.
So, Joe, the rot you talk about, do you point fingers at the left for this? Do you see Trump's rally? Do you think that politically that this is going to cause a shift in? I mean, we turned it one other time when Reagan. It was very similar. You weren't around. But after
yeah,
you're a kid. But I never thought things would turn around, and they did.
I'm on the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. I admire some of what he did there. You know, it's funny because I was talking about this in India last week because they're asking what's going on in the U.S. You guys are crazy, and actually some of them saw it as a form of neocolonialism, where like Microsoft, for example, tries to force you to use your pronouns, and then if someone criticizes it, they ban them from LinkedIn, and they're like, you guys this is colonial values. You're trying to force this craziness on us. What are you guys doing? And no, I mean, I don't think it's that hard to stop. I think it requires the courage for a small number of us to speak up. You go to these colleges, you go to Columbia, which there's a problem. It's maybe 10% of the people there are the fundamentalists. Right. So everyone else is afraid to speak up against them.
You need to stand up to the far ends of both sides.
The far ends of both sides, but the far left is obviously where the stance is coming from.
That's what I mean.
So,
I mean, does that mean you go right, or does it mean you just reject the left?
This is the biggest problem that happens in society is when you have a crazy far left, then you get a crazy far right to oppose it. And this is what's happened in Nazi Germany. You had the crazy communists, and people had to vote for the far right to oppose them. You don't want a far right. You want a coherent, moderate response where you stand up and say why it's wrong. And that's what we need from our leaders.